Well, good evening, Wowzers. We are glad you are joining us for our first interview, our first conversation with Transformational Testimonies. We are so excited about this series of WOW services. It's going to stretch from now all the way until I think summer, and we have some amazing leaders here at Northern Hills who are lined up and giving up their time and telling their story to us. We're so excited to start off this series with our lay leader. You know him. He reads to you and talks to you every Sunday morning, Tom White.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
So excited that you're here. This will be great.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of get started. You are a lay leader, and so what do you do?
I've been asked that a lot. So really, I'm what I view it as the ombudsman of the congregation. I'm the representative of the congregation in relation to all of the committees that we have and to the pastors and staff. So as things come, to communicate both ways and represent the congregation in those meetings and ensure that the voice is heard. The Methodist Church is, as you go through the process, is a lay and clergy co-led organization, and I think that's one of the beauty, and we've had some great lay leaders that have preceded me and have made this job easy to come alongside and ensure that the voice of the laity is heard and considered in all matters of the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did you first come to Northern Hills?
So we obviously career military. We were here from '98 to 2001. We were coming back to San Antonio in 2005, and we're excited because we were attending the San Antonio Korean United Methodist Church. So we thought, okay, we're coming back to a city that we've been to before, a church we've been to. That's one easy thing. We don't have to go church hunting. And we came back, and that church was going through a period of transition. The senior pastor was leaving. We had helped work with the district superintendent to bring a pastor into the church who had just graduated seminary, but we saw that it needed to return to its roots, its Korean roots. I was leading the English ministry there, and we decided it was probably best for that church at that time and for us to step out. And the greatest evangelical tool of Northern Hills, its sign, was there, and it said something that it resonated with me every time I saw it. Bible-based, Christ-centered, Spirit-led. And that resonated with me, and I thought that is a congregation that I would like to be part of. And the first week we came here, Pastor Milton was holding what we now call coffees and cookies with the pastors, and we were able to come in and hear the church, hear the mission of the church, the vision of the church, and the pastor Milton was able to sit with us, and we knew that this is where we were called to be. So from 2007, this has been our church home, and we've loved it here.
Oh, wow, so you're a teenager from 2007 to
exactly.
Your membership can own its own cell phone and things like that. Nice. So what was the first committee you ever served on?
So it's kind of interesting. If you've ever seen the military comedies where they ask volunteers to take one step forward and nobody does, so everybody else takes one step back. We were at the Korean United Methodist Church in Augusta, Georgia, and they needed somebody to be a leader of the United Methodist Men, and it was that very scenario. There was no way I was volunteering to do that, and got volunteered by everybody else to be the leader of the United Methodist Men. So my first foray into any type of position was not by my own volition. It was by everybody else pointing at me and saying I was the guy. So that was an interesting way to come about. And I'll share another one. We were in Washington, D.C. at the Korean United Methodist Church there, First Korean United Methodist Church. And a pastor asked me to teach Sunday school, and I said, Pastor, I'll pray about it. And he said, Tom, I'm not asking you to pray about it, I'm asking you to do it. So those are some of the examples of bringing me into positions when maybe I wasn't necessarily thinking about serving.
Okay, I'm just envisioning you sitting all around the table and everybody's just nodding and pointing. Tom will do that at that. Wow. Okay. I mean, I know that happens, but it's always seems to happen to somebody else. It's nice to meet the guy.
It was an outer body experience to see that happen. Yeah.
I know you must be talking about somebody else, right? Yeah. So the first time you didn't get told to volunteer or volunteered by somebody else, when's the first time that you kind of transitioned into a leadership role?
So in the Korean United Methodist Church, they have they follow a little bit different structure. They are predominantly one board, so being in the English ministry, I often represented the English portion of the congregation, and the pastors would have me serve. So I really think going back to very early on, as I was voluntold to be on the United Methodist Men, I've been serving on committees of one way or another involved in the operation of the church.
Mm-hmm. But you're not just involved here at Northern Hills, you're also involved at a district level.
I've served at the district level. I served on the district's Board of Ordination, and also I've served now as the district lay servant ministries director.
Mm-hmm. How did you get involved in that?
Our current district superintendent called the pastor and said, I want this guy, and there was some negotiation that went on between the two of them, and then I got told by both of them I'm going to serve as the district position.
Okay, so there's a trend here happening. Well, do you know what the exchange in negotiations was?
I think for Pastor Lupina it had something to do with coffee.
Okay, so the district had to send over so much coffee in exchange for your time?
And I think really what it was is the success of our lay servant program here at Northern Hills. Okay. Greg really wanted to replicate that across the district of a way of really bringing the laity into ministry with the pastor staff and staff of churches, because we've been very successful here with that, and it's really changed the paradigm. There's no way we would have gotten through 55 weeks now of COVID without the support of the laity being active and involved and being able to take items off of the plate of the pastoral staff at the same time of bringing value of doing additional ministry work. So I think it really was with Greg just wanting to try to replicate that, and we hope to be able to do that over time.
And then that might be something that you advisors don't understand, the success of the lay servant ministry at Northern Hills. So Northern Hills has over 100 lay servants. The rest of all the churches combined in the entire district has, what, 20?
No more than 20.
No more than 20. So our church alone, Northern Hills alone, has 5 times what everybody else has it's a David and Goliath, where we're actually Goliath when it comes to the commitment and the number of our lay servants here.
And if I could put a plug for Jen Kester and her NHUMC Action, which has taken that all-day course and put it into bite size and really put it in a way that folks can navigate through and participate in, and at the same time grow into positions and being connected and supporting the church. So it's a great program that she's taken from that.
Yeah, and we have the Action A class kicking up here in like 2 or 3 weeks, so information on that is on the website, just so you guys know. So when it comes to working, volunteering, leading at a church, what's the sacrifice?
It's interesting, we're this week after Easter, and it's hard to think of anything that we do as a sacrifice, right, after that. But I think it's more of not a sacrifice, but a commitment. Mm-hmm. Somebody has done this before that allowed me to benefit with the church. And I think it's a commitment to be able to support the church. We say with our time, talent, or treasure, or our prayers, presence, gift, service, witness, but somebody else has supported the church. And I just feel it's all of us have a responsibility of supporting the church for the next generation and for those to come. I'm at a different stage in my relationship with Christ than I was 20 years ago. And that's because of a lot of the leaders, the folks that have been serving in the churches that I've been in. And I think I owe a debt of gratitude to them. And I just feel compelled to give some of that back and continue to serve.
Yeah, no, I like that. So, I like the way you phrase that, as far as it's not a sacrifice, but the commitment level really kicks up. So then, what are the benefits?
Well, the benefits, I think, just are, seeing that as you participate in the ministry, you see the growth in others and you see the growth in yourself. Every time you think that you're ministering to someone, you realize you're ministering to yourself more so, and to see the way that the church continues to grow and that you've been able to participate, because this isn't just I've been in medical education, and you see somebody graduate from a course, and a lot of times that's the end of it. But what we're talking about here is we're talking about salvation. Mm-hmm. We're talking about meeting individual needs of people at a specific time in their life. And I can't think of anything that is more treasured or more valued than to make a difference in somebody's life that has an ultimate impact, their salvation and the salvation of their family. So it's worth everything that you put into it to see that growth and know that you're part of building the kingdom.
Nice. No, I like that a lot. So say someone out there is interested in getting started either in just leadership processes or leadership, particularly here at Northern Hills, what do you say to them?
So I don't know that I would say that it's about leadership. It's about serving and continuing to be able to share your talents. There have been times here that I know that I've been overwhelmed and life has happened, and I've had to go to the pastors and say, I need to take a knee. I need to step out. I need to step away. I need to care for myself. I need to care for my family. And then as things were able to get better and more balanced, then I was able to come back in. But I think it's about finding balance, finding yourself saying yes to something and saying yes to serve, and just taking those opportunities, taking those risks, that know that you're going to be alongside great people that will serve with you and help you grow in the position, and to see that you're going to make an impact and that you're going to grow. Again, I don't find it as a sacrifice, despite the number of committee meetings I may have in a particular week. But I would just say that there is a commitment, but our commitment is always to something bigger than what we are. Mm-hmm. And when we try that, when we step out of faith, we're only going to see ourselves grow and see that commitment to Christ be multiplied and magnified.
Yeah. So you spoke about risk there. What do you mean risk?
There's risk in when you do anything, right? There's a risk in am I going to fail? There's risk in am I going to not be able to do what I'm being called to do? But that risk comes because often I think we think less of ourselves than what Christ thinks of us. Mm-hmm. So we're sometimes afraid to take that step, but realize that we're not taking that step alone. We can be concerned, and that's fine. That's what prayer's for. But at the same time, there's somebody that answers those prayers and will come alongside you and ensure that you're not going to fail. You're not going to be embarrassed. You're not going to be anything other than a valued member of a team that's serving and in a committed way to the congregation.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's great. Tom, thanks so much. This has been so fun. This has been enlightening to me to hear from your perspective about how you got in. That our most committed leader, or one of our most committed leaders at Northern Hills, started being volunteered and then has continued on that journey past the local church, all the way to the district and into high levels of leadership, and really influencing what happens here in the Northern San Antonio corridor. So thank you so much for coming in this evening. Wowzers, thanks so much for joining us. We're excited about this entire series about your opportunity to meet and interface and learn about the stories of so many of the great leaders that we have here at Northern Hills. We thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.